So, hi there everyone, welcome back to another episode of my Car Mechanic Simulator series. My name's Leon, I'm the one looking after you. This one I'm going to do something a bit different. So, as you can see, we're in the garage, but we're not actually going to be working on any cars in this episode. Not going to go anywhere, this is going to be the background view for this episode. But there's going to be other things on screen. I've played Car Mechanic Simulator now for a number of years, back to 2015 version. Didn't do so much with 2018. I was just busy with other things. Did play it right at the start when it had all its issues, but 2021, as people can see, it's had a lot of my attention. I love this game, and I think there's so much to do. But there is cars that are missing for me. And what I've done is I've put a list together of 10 cars, or the 10 cars I would really like to see in this game. Some people may agree with it. Some people probably won't agree with it. That's what that's great about the car market in general. Everyone has different tastes. There was one car on the list which I've had to change, but it's because it's recently come out as a mod, and at the time of recording, none of these are available as mods or DLCs through Steam Workshop. Maybe available elsewhere. I don't know. I only use the Steam Workshop, so yeah. If you like this sort of thing, please do remember to hit that like button, comment, subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, help it grow and develop, there's a join button below, plus other links in the video description as well. Let's get started. So number 10 on my list is the Ariel Atom. This car first came out in 2000. It's kind of like a road legal race car. Chassis exposed. Originally came out with the Rover engines, but of course recent versions have got the Civic Type R engine in, and it's just one of those mental cars. It's at one point it held the Top Gear track record, and to me it's just one of those fun cars, and I think it could be a fun one for buzzing around on some of the circuits that are in the game, which is why it ended up on this list. Number 9 is the KRM7. Now this one is available to this day. Originally come out in it's been available as a kit under Lotus since 1957 to 72. It was designed by Colin Chapman of Lotus racing fame. But of course it's in this, so you can still buy it as a kit, or you can have it fully assembled. Now the reason this car appealed to me to have on in the game would be, it's one of those you could literally say, right, pick up the phone, order in the car, the kit, and put it together in game, kind of like you do with the engines. So to me, it's kind of really like let's start building a car. So it's just kind of that custom option. You could have to go and find certain parts that are only available in, you've got to go and find the right chassis, for example. I think it's something that you could do with this game, and I think that's just appealed. And one day I would love to have the skill and the time and the space, the money to build something like that. But I know I'm the wrong member of my family for that. I can build them on screen, but I can't put an engine together in real life. But yeah, KRM7 could be an interesting thing in game. Number 8 is the Renault 5. In the US, it was known as Le Car. In the US or Canada, it was known as Le Car. This was out from 1972 to 1985. 5.5 million made. Front-wheel drive, front-engined. There's also some really, really cool. There's like the GT Turbo version, which they was modified version, which actually was a real drive mid-engine version. And again, it could be something they could do as a kit, as a in-game, or as a DLC, and have the different versions. But the Renault 5 I put on there because it's one of the cars I remember growing up. My dad had one, and they were quite like little cool little cars, a lot of fun, and a lot of good memories attached to it. And again, another cool car in number 7, probably one of the most iconic cars. It's the original Mach 1 Mini. 1959 to 1967, released by BMC. And it's a fact, when I was looking at some of these, I didn't know. It was released in 100 countries all on the same day, and a total it sold 5.3 million. And probably most famous of the Mark 1s would have been the Mini Cooper S that featured in The Italian Job with Michael Caine. You know, again, I think it was a great marketing thing with that car. It was just so cool. One of the most as the car probably was one of the most body kits available for it. I think somebody said there was over 100 different kits available for the Mini. But Mark 1 Mini, yeah. Nothing like the existing Minis. If you actually put a new Mini next to an old Mini, the old Mini is so much smaller, really, really tiny car, but amazing what you could get into it. Number 6, I have the Toyota Impreza WRC 1997 to 2000, the S5 F6 version. This is the one driven by the late Colin McRae and the late Richard Burns. And the reason I'd love to see this car in game, again, it's one of those iconic cars to me. Growing up, I mean, I've always been a Formula 1 fan, but late 90s, it was the World Rally was hitting the British market because of the success of British drivers in it. And this was the car that just always impressed. You know, you could see loads of the road versions of these cars as well, because it was having such an influence on real life from the rally side of it. But I said the rally car, the sound of it, just the look of it, was just an amazingly iconic car. And to me, I'd love to be able to build one of those in game, because I think it'd just be absolutely so much fun to do. Number 5, another iconic car to me, the Lamborghini Countach, 1974 to 1990. They recently brought out a limited version, 2021. Rear-wheel drive, mid-engine car, only 1,983 made. It was voted one of the top 3 cars in the 70s, top 10 of the 80s by Sports Car International. But it's probably most famous for being in the film Cannonball Run. If you're a fan of cars, go back and watch this film. So yes, it's an older film, but yeah, it features in it, and I love it. And it always it was one of those cars that was always on everyone's kind of bedroom wall. It's just so iconic. It's supposedly an absolute bitch to drive, but yeah, absolutely, just one of those sounds, one of those cars that just captures the attention. And yeah, go and check it out if you get a chance. As it is, but yeah, I'd love to see that one in game. And probably another iconic car for me growing up, number 4, Ford Escort XR3i. Now, I've never had one, never driven one, but it was one of those cars at the time. It said it was introduced in 1982 as an improved version of the XR3, which was built to rival the Golf GTI. Saying it was the time of all those, you know, that was kind of probably like one of the original kind of boy racer type cars. As it is 1982. I mean, I was 11, so probably came out before my time. It continued. It was the Mark III all the way through to Mark III Escort, all the way through to the Mark V. So it stopped being made in 1994. Probably the early ones are probably my favourite. 1994. I could go off and could have had one, but the insurance on them would have been ridiculous. They were probably, I think, at one point, one of the most stolen cars around. But again, it's just that silliness that I think you start seeing cars being modded up with big rear wings, and all sorts of things on the XR3i. Which again, another car with an iconic sound. But yeah, love to see one of those in game. Number 3, we're at a classic. Ferrari F40. This was the last of the cars fully approved by Enzo Ferrari. Mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, 1987 to 1992. But then there was race car versions available till 96. Only just 1,315 ever made. Originally sold for about $400,000, which is equivalent to just over $900,000 nowadays. I think the most expensive one at the moment has been about 1.4, but I'm sure I read somewhere recently that one went for about $2.5 million. So it's one of those absolute. I've also saw a picture recently of a mechanic who written one off. There's now one less. Just beautiful car. As I said, it was never the most high-tech car. And again, I think that's another reason why it appeals. We'd love to see it in this game. Is because it was proper old-fashioned technology. You know, when cars at that stage were starting to come out with a lot more gizmos and gadgets, this was a proper race car. Just beautiful, just iconic. And again, another one of those kind of, poster cars that, we all loved back in that time. Again, would love to have a shot of one, but I'm told again it's another one of those things that's a beast to drive. But yeah, would love to see that in game. Going back to one we've already mentioned though, we're going to go back to the Ford Escort. And this Escort Mach 1 came out between 1967 and 1975, so again, way before my time. And became, again, one of those ones that became the most successful rally cars of its time. But the reason why I've put it on the list is it's one of those cars that kind of made a resurgence as a car that could be done up, modified, made to look special, and it does. It's still one of those guys. I still think it's one of the most beautiful cars that's come out of a factory, and with what can be done to them, it's not stupidly high tech. Those of us who drive have had issues with cars with electrics and things like that, but this was a proper car. It looked the part, and again, when you see them nowadays, which you'll see in the pictures I'm putting up with it just, to me, it's iconic. And again, I think it's one of those cars that I would still love one. Probably will never have one, not unless the channel takes off absolutely silly or somebody wants to make a massive donation. But yeah, I think it's just absolutely fun looking car. So before we get to the number 1, other cars that I did have down, I had the Renault Laguna, again, were none of the cars I had. Triumph TR7, another one of those iconic cars growing up. Saw a few of them where I grew up. I'd love to see maybe some of the Formula 1 cars. You've got the Ayrton Senna's McLaren, or Hamilton's Mercedes, or Schumacher's Ferrari, something like that. But again, I don't think that would be probably realistic in this sort of game. Maybe as a special DLC or something like that, who knows. But I just don't know how it would be done in this game, not unless they completely redid the way maybe suspensions and that were done. So what have I chosen at number 1? Well, as I said, if you like this list, like, comment and subscribe. Make sure you add your favourites below. What would you like to see in the game? But for me, the car I would like to see most is a BMW 3 Series E36. This one was out between 1990 and 2000. Front engine, rear wheel drive. Originally come out as a saloon. But why have I chosen it? Well, I've had one of these. I had a coupe. Was it 4-door in green? Loved it. absolutely love the car. I love driving it. I love the look of it. I just had so much fun in it. Mine I had mid 2000, I think around 2004, 2005. No, actually, no, when it was later than that. Probably 2010 ish. I had mine. And I went everywhere in it. Covered so many miles. It was only when it got too expensive to maintain for an older car that I had to eventually part way with it. And no one else got to drive after me because it did go off to be scrapped. Because repairs on it were going to be, not because of anything that happened to it, just age got to it. And the thing is, with a lot of people know with German cars, they're not cheap to fix. But yeah, that is the car I would love to have in the game, just so I could have it in game. I know there's an E30 as a mod, which we've done before. And a lot of people say that I've seen comments, people want E46s, which was the replacement. But the 36 was my one. Remember doing it, I think it was in 2015? Or was it might have been 2018, but I remember I say it was a mod in that, so who knows, one day I might get to have it in this. But yeah, that's the car I would want. Probably, most people expect me to some sort of sports car. You can sport them up. They were raced very successfully, but yeah, miss my E36. One day I will get my hands on another. But yeah, so yeah, just thought we'd do something different for this episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comment. Do you want me to see me do more of these sort of things? I have ideas, for other bits and pieces if anyone is interested. As I said, I'd love to see the cars you would like to see in game. Whether it's some mod or if there's DLCs you want to see or things like that. Please do put them in the comments below. And yeah, we hopefully, you never know, we may see some of them in the kart game one day. Who knows? But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. We'll be back with another episode very, very soon. Till then, bye bye for now.